everyone, today I'm doing something incredibly stupid with this record. So a couple of weeks ago I ordered this record, Taylor Swift Lover. It's on beautiful coloured vinyl, but unfortunately one of them was incredibly warped. I don't know if you can, it's quite hard to see on the camera, but the whole centre of it kind of bubbles up, and it's kind of playable on that side if you put a clamp down because it kind of flattens it, but when it's on that side the edges are raised, and it's not very good. So I contacted the place I bought it from and they said no worries, we'll send you another one, and because it's so warped, like, because I sent them a video to show them, just keep it, we don't want to inconvenience you with having to return it, so we'll throw it away, do whatever you want with it. So I'm probably going to end up doing one of those, you know, those DIYs that you see, it's like turning them into a bowl or a clock, because the colours of them are really pretty, and making a nice bowl or a clock up for on the wall, with this instead of just one of the standard black vinyl, would look pretty cool. But I also decided that before I do that, I'm going to try and do something very stupid that I wouldn't normally do to a record that I cared about. I've got a replacement, so I don't really care about this one as much, because I was just going to do something silly with it anyway. So I went online originally to see, you know, what can you do to try and fix a warped record, blah 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 blah. There's different things you can do. One of the safer ones you could do is just send it to someone that has one of the proper record flattening machines. A few people are up on eBay, but then you have to pay for shipping, the service, shipping back to you. So for a record that I could just get a replacement for really easily for, you know, and then just get to keep that one, it didn't seem like it was worth it. There's other things you can just put them between basically two heavy things and wait a few weeks. That takes a lot of time, and again, I could easily get it swapped. So those kind of things kind of seemed like it was for people that really cared, like there was one record that they really cared about, hard to replace, so they really needed to fix it. And then I also found one that they explicitly said, do not do this because it is stupid and dangerous, and a lot of things could go wrong. You could damage your vinyl, you could damage a lot more. So I decided to do it with this one here. So for this, I had to go pick up two frames that were at least 12 inches on each side. So these are both 12 by 16 inches. I picked these up from the local hardware store. And then also some clamps to be able to clamp the glass in place. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take the two panes of glass, put the record in between, sandwich it, put it in the oven on a very low heat, wait for it for a couple of minutes, take it out, set it down, clamp the glass so it's got pressure all over it, and then wait for it to cool down. Now obviously putting a record into the oven is something that a lot of people do for, again, making those bowls, clocks, whatever. But you don't intend to play them after, and so putting it in the oven with the intention to play it is not a very good idea, because if you do it too long you can melt it, bend it worse, you could ruin the grooves, whatever. So I wouldn't do this with something that I actually intended to be able to listen to after. I just thought that it would be a fun thing to do, just to try out with a record that I've already got a replacement of. I don't really need that, and I'm going to turn that into something else anyway. So I'll just get these frames open, get the clamps, and then I'll talk you more about what's going to happen. So now I've got my two panes of glass removed from my frame. It is worth noting that if you're trying, I mean, don't do this, just don't do it. But if you decided you wanted to, for whatever reason, maybe just for fun like I'm doing, a lot of frames nowadays, especially like cheap ones that you'll find on Amazon, instead of it actually being glass, it'll be perspex, just like clear plastic. And obviously that will not work for this because it will melt in the oven as well. So you need to make sure it's a glass frame. You can kind of tell if it's glass because I don't know if you can see this, but glass on like the side If you look at it, it's kind of like bluey greeny, where just Perspex will just be still clear and white. And then I've also got my clamps that I got, so you just open them up, and I'm going to put these on all 4 of the corners just to get the weight, well, the pressure evenly distributed. It is worth mentioning that, again, this fix, like, unless you already have the stuff around, you're not saving any more money than if you did just send it over to someone. I found someone on eBay that has one of the record flattening machines, and they charge £8. Obviously you have to pay for shipping there in the back, and the record could get damaged in shipping. But altogether, these frames were £5 each. Just the standard clip-on frames. That's why I got the clip-on frames, because the one that actually had like the wooden frames around the outside were more expensive. And then these clamps were the cheapest ones in B&Q, the hardware store I went to, and they were £5 for a pack of 2, and you need to get 2. So all in all, the glass and the clamps were £20, which the record itself cost like 25 to 30 you can find them for. So it doesn't really make much sense for a new record that you can get easily, but again, this is probably for only people that are really desperate or really stupid or just want to have a bit of fun. So now the oven's preheated to about 79 degrees Celsius. So we're just going to go over there, pop it in and see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, I'm in front of my oven in my kitchen and I'm about to put the record sandwich in. I forgot to mention earlier that it is really important that the glass before you put it in is room temperature, because if it's cold, like it's been out in a shed or something, if you've got spare glass lying around, if you put it in the oven and it's still cold, the glass is more likely to shatter, and that would not be very good, especially considering this is a place where you cook food, and the last thing you want to be doing is eating glass. Also, slightly less important, but it's important for the record, the glass needs to be as clean as possible, so that you don't risk basically pushing dirt into the grooves of the record. Not a big deal for me because I'm not intending to listen to this again, but I've still cleaned the glass with some glass cleaner. So, just gonna pop this in then, I suppose. Okay, right. Okay, and now we just need to wait for 3 minutes. So the record is in there cooking. Excuse the oven, it does need cleaned. So I've just taken the glass out of the oven, it's warm. I've popped it on top of just these are like granite slabs, so just not to burn the wood or anything. And I've put the clamps on 4 sides, so should be giving it even pressure. Now we just need to wait until the glass cools before we can take it out and see what we're left with. I would like to also point out that while this was in the oven, I had the extractor fan on in the oven, and all the windows in this room are open, because when you're putting plastic and heating up, it can release fumes that are dangerous, which is another reason why this is not a very smart thing to do. So I'm back. It's now been out of the oven for about half an hour to 40 minutes. So the glass is cold to touch. So now I can remove the clamps and see what we're left with. And I'm happy to say glass didn't shatter, nothing exploded, and we seem to be alright. So let's see what we've ended up with and how badly of an idea this is. Yeah, no change whatsoever. Still just as warped. So I went it in the oven, that it is now. Maybe it's a little, no it's not. No, it's not. I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, saying that it was a little bit flatter, but it's not. It's completely the same. I even left it in for a bit longer than they said to leave it in for. So in theory that should have melted it more, made it easier to sandwich and flatten. But it didn't. So all in all, that was a waste of money, a waste of time, a stupid, dangerous, and didn't accomplish anything but me making a video. So as I said, I'll probably do a DIY with those, maybe make a clock, although I don't really have a use for an analog clock, so I might make like a little bowl for out in the hallway. It was a 2LP set. There's that clear blue one and then like an opaque baby pink one. So I'll probably make two, give the pink one to my little sister who also likes Taylor Swift. So all in all, I mean, the situation wasn't bad. I mean, I got, you know, a perfectly fine copy of the record in the end. Got this, I could do something fun with them, made a video. So not a total loss. Not really a loss at all, other than the money I spent on this stuff, but I'm sure I could probably find use for a clamp, and these picture frames technically are still usable. So I'll try and find something to pop in them. But yes, no, so an adventure in stupidity today that didn't lead to anything, but hopefully your entertainment. So I might record me doing the DIYs, but probably not, because there's about 1 million videos on YouTube of different DIY record arts and craft hacks, and my one will probably be just me showing you something that I learnt from a different video, so a bit irrelevant. I might do it in the end, who knows. If there's a video showing me doing it, then I recorded it and I did it. If not, I didn't. So there you are, that's how you'll find out if that video ever existed. But anyway, see you next time for hopefully something less stupid. Again, as I've said multiple times throughout the video, do not do this, it is stupid. But if you go do it like I did, nothing will happen other than maybe an explosion in your oven. So yeah, again, bye, see you next time.